Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 7th of December 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. The Law Commission today approved only the draft decision to open the way for the election by the Parliament for a new provisional chief prosecutor with only the majority votes. The draft decision, introduced by the Socialist MP Bledi Chuchi, foresees the election of the prosecutor with a simple majority. The candidates must present their CVs for review within the next 5 days, said Chuchi. This draft decision was strongly opposed by the Democratic Party, who claimed that we are dealing with a constitutional vacuum where no institution has the right to announce the termination of the current prosecutor's mandate. Only the High Council of the Prosecutor's Office determines the ending of Adriatic Lala's mandate, said Enkalaid Alabiye. The opposition's solution is not the extension of the mandate of Chief Prosecutor Lala, but a change to the constitutional provisions. The solution is to change the constitution to allow for transitional provisions, said Edward Halimi. After the boycott by the opposition, the chairman of the commission, Ulsi Manya, expressed his regret for the attitude of the Democrats and said that the Assembly's action is in full compliance with the recommendations of international partners. Deep regrets that foreigners can read and interpret our constitution better than the opposition, said Manya. According to the approved draft decision, the new prosecutor should be elected within the next 30 days and will remain in office until the High Council of the Prosecutor's Office is established. The Democratic Party today sent a letter to the Speaker of the Assembly listing the reasons why they believe the procedure initiated by the Assembly in relation to the role of the General Prosecutor to be unconstitutional. According to the opposition, the first fact is that the Constitution clearly states that the termination of the mandate of the General Prosecutor can only be ascertained by the High Council of the Prosecutor's Office and not by the Albanian Parliament. The DP claims that until the establishment of the High Council of the Prosecutor's Office and the fulfilment of the constitutional and legal vacuum, it is impossible for the Assembly to assume the authority of an independent justice institution. The Blue Headquarters says it does not have a definitive stance on the issue of extending the duration of the current Prosecutor General's mandate from 5 to 7 years. According to the DP, the answer to this dilemma cannot be determined by politics, but only by the High Council of the Prosecutor's Office, as the institution declaring the termination of the mandate. The DP notes that a similar situation for the High Inspector of Asset Declaration was resolved by this majority by extending its mandate from 5 years, as per the previous law, to 7 years under the new law. The DP stated to the majority that it cannot make different interpretations in a similar situation, purely to propel their purpose of political control over justice institutions. The second fact, according to the opposition, is that Article 109 of the Constitution is not applicable because it predicts the appointment of a provisional prosecutor only when the acting prosecutor's mandate is being terminated prematurely. However, this is not the case in this circumstance and that we are faced with it at the moment. The DP therefore requests the opinion of the Council of Legislation in the Albanian Parliament to take into consideration the solution to the constitutional or legal questions arising, urging the majority to immediately terminate the procedure that violates the Constitution and the law. Amid debates, the Assembly of Albania has conducted the ballot for the appointment of members to the Temporary Commission for Appointments in Justice. Representatives of the majority and the opposition have expressed opposing stances on this procedure, which is part of the justice reform package. Judges Besnik Imerai and Altina Georgiai were selected as members of the Council for Appointments in Justice from the list of those from the Constitutional Court, while Vittore Tushai was elected as the substitute member from this list. Artan Broci was elected as a member from the High Court list, while the elected substitute from this institution was the Judge Gülzen Salimi. Prosecutor Rovena Gashi was elected without contest as she was the only candidate presented by the General Prosecutor's Office. Gentian Trenova and Fationa Menchai were also selected without contest as the only candidates from the prosecutors near the Appellate Court. For the substitute member of the General Prosecutor's Office, no lottery was thrown because there were no candidates. The leader of this procedure, Vasilika Husi, said there would be no substitute members from this institution. This list of candidates from the Court of Appeal contained a total of 83 names, with the two selected from the ballot being Anton Dimitri and Fatos Chato. From the administrative court, there were 42 nominations, but only one position available, with the role going to Ahmet Yangouli. According to the law, there is only one prescribed substitute member for both the Court of Appeal and the Administrative Court, which was given to Judge Sotirach Lumbonya. The Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs of Albania has ranked 31st in the list of more than 200 counterpart ministries from around the world, in an evaluation made by the Digital Diplomacy Live. Also, for the 2017 year, an evaluation has been made on the work by respective ministries which have accounts on social media and use them to discuss the foreign policies of the countries which they represent. The Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs of Albania does utilise social media for publication of their policies, which, besides the official website, also performs this function alongside the personal page of Minister Ditmir Bushati. In addition to the social media presence, there is also a special e-consulate application that provides consular information to all citizens travelling to different countries. This year, the evaluation by Digital Diplomacy Live saw the Albanian Ministry for Europe and Foreign Affairs improve in their ranking by climbing up 12 places in the list. In the analysis made by Digital Diplomacy Live, a summary was completed on all the digital activity occurring from these ministries around the world. The assessment criterion that was then used upon the reviews for evaluation was the level of presence in social media, adaptability, frequency of updates, engagement, and digital diplomacy. The first meeting of the Ministers for Transport and Infrastructure of the Western Balkan countries was held in Brussels in collaboration with representatives of the European Commission and headed by Transport Commissioner Violeta Bulc. In accordance with the Transport Treaty, this meeting advanced the decision-making on the establishment of the transport community, which will move in line with the Community of Energy, which has already been consolidated. It was a meeting that brought together regional ministers on the occasion of establishing a transport community, in similar organisation with the energy community that has already been established in Vienna. This European Union organisation is another important step towards the integration of the Western Balkan countries into the Union. This organisation will be used to progress collaborative efforts as an important institution for harmonising projects, promoting the same values, synergising transport policies between states. The final purpose is obviously the integration of the entire region into the European Union, including in reports to the transport infrastructure, said Damian Gignori. In the assessment conducted by this organisation, countries could coordinate projects in a better way and utilise EU funds to fill the gap that the Western Balkan countries have with infrastructure. The priority projects identified for the Western Balkan countries will take place. Even here today, the European Commission, the Commissioner for Transport and representatives of the Enlargement Commissioner confirmed that priority projects will be at the centre of funding. I would like to emphasise here the main corridors, such as the Ionian Adriatic transport corridors, and important railway projects, such as those between Montenegro and Albania, and the expansion of the railway to Macedonia and Greece. These corridors are being viewed as a priority in regards to EU funding. Utilising these grants will help to ensure better coordination between the financial institutions and will also promote priority projects deserving funding from international institutions, said Damian Gignori. During his stay in Brussels, Minister Gignori had meetings with the Transport Commissioner, Violeta Bulc, and transport ministers from Kosovo, Macedonia, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro. Starting from January 2018, 70 important documents for citizens will be able to be printed from new electronic kiosks similar to ATMs. Such documents include rental bonus applications, renewals of the fire protection certificate, as well as documents for social welfare procedures. This new procedure aims at removing the need for citizens to attend municipal offices, spending their valuable time waiting in queues. The Mayor of Tirana, Erion Veliai, clarified this procedure that will be used for the allowance of documents to be taken. These places will be just like ATMs. Just put in your ID card, pay the fee for the document you are requesting, and the machine will print it out, said Veliai. Tirana is the pilot city for the government's project regarding withdrawing and transferring online documents. Veliai believes that utilising such technological methods means that there will be less bureaucracy and less corruption, as there is no contact with office employees. We want to help the citizens avoid bureaucracy and unnecessary contact with employees, said Erion Veliai. Present at the first regional conference on the future of cities without corruption, Mayor Valii stated that the municipality of Tirana is working to expand the range of services offered online. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.